Imagine for a moment a large blank canvas, all in white. Attached to your feet, two long brushes that glide oh so effortlessly along that canvas. And the best part about it is, there ain't no right way to do it. No right way at all.
Clear. That's ready.
Switch rodeo 720 tailground.
Tanner Hall. Qualified first in the qualified. He's going to get some amplitude and months of training to get this run. Consistency.
Tanner Hall putting on a clinic on how to ski half pipe. As clean as it can be done, and the money booter!
He goes all the way around.
900! My gosh, that's gotta be gold! Tanner Hall is the golden boy of Winter X.
But as time goes on and we get older and the youngins take over the canvas, a lot of us start to believe that we have lost the ability to create. It doesn't have to be this way. But if the passion and the motivation are still there, anything is possible.
At this point in a ski movie, right after the intro, typically I'd lay on some heavy music and do a fast edit of banger action shots. I wouldn't think of playing it slow and doing a first-person voiceover. But this ain't a typical ski movie. You see, this is more of an essay about a skier. One Tanner Hall. Who am I? Well, my name is Constantine. I'm a filmmaker who used to make movies with Tanner a long time ago. Now, if you were expecting a ski flick with no talk, just music and footage, you'll probably find this one disappointing. But maybe you're someone who prefers to hear the entire story. If so, you've come to the right party. I first met Tanner 20 years ago. Feels like yesterday. I'd seen him skiing on TV and in movies, but to watch it live was something else. A few years later, Tanner needed somebody to make films for him, and that's how it started. I'd been bouncing around between jobs, trying to find a path forward in life. I loved playing with cameras, and I loved skiing. So when the chance came to work for Tanner, I jumped on it. For the next 3 years, we traveled the globe making ski films. It was a dream come true. Then Tanner and I had a falling out. All of a sudden, it was over. I can never really understand why. All I know is
it shouldn't have ended like that.
Second chances in life are rare. When one comes along, you better be ready. Now, that's how I found myself here, in the town of Bend, Oregon, 6 months ago. Tanner had invited me up to spend some time during the holidays. His brother, Tyson, lives here with his family. Their parents, Darla and Jerry, who live in Montana, were there as well. But this wasn't just a social visit. Tanner wanted to discuss a matter of business, and I already had an idea what it might be.
What are you thinking for another movie project, eh?
Yeah, for sure, dog. I'm not getting any younger. I mean, confidence is up. Everything's continuing down a good path. Like, I go out and I have these ideas and it doesn't take too long to get them done. And I'm just figuring if it's still like that. We got to link up and make another movie. I mean, Believe is timeless, and I think we can do another one that's even better. Because, I mean, it's just time. I mean, it's over a decade since that movie come out now.
The movie Tanner's referring to, Believe, was the standout of the 3 movies I made with him. Released 13 years ago, at the height of his X Games dominance. Now at age 35, he had decided to enter the Freeride World Tour, a competition circuit with 5 stops in Japan, Canada, Austria, Andorra, and Switzerland. The idea was to follow him on tour and make a movie about it.
There comes a point in your life when you find out like what makes you happy, what makes you wake up, what makes you tick. Skiing is it for me.
Like, what's your goal with this whole thing? Like, telling your story?
Like, basically for me, I'm making up for lost time, dog. And I mean, I just want to keep the momentum going, man. I want to show people that age is just a number, and without struggle, I mean, there's really no artist, you know? There's really no art to it, you know? Every artist needs struggle to produce something great. And right now, I'm on a masterpiece.
All right, this is T Hall interview 1. Take 1, Marker.
Before we get started, I have to ask, what exactly happened between us back in the day? The films we were making, why'd that all end?
I don't know, maybe because I was like not really like right in the brain at that point, and like you were, I don't know, you were just ready to do something different, I think. You know, I wasn't really maybe the most trustworthy person to like rely on through a whole year, because like projects are not small. Like, it takes a lot to dedicate yourself to and actually do what you say you're gonna do. So I probably wasn't the best back in the day at that point.
You ever think what might have become?
Oh, I know what could have become, but can't, I mean, no use crying over spilled milk, bro.
Another film with Tanner. I was intrigued, but also skeptical. It felt kind of foolish to talk about. Like a couple of old heavy metal rockers trying to get the band back together. Back in the day, when DVDs were the gold standard and Tanner was the biggest star, the money for ski movies came easy. Those days are long gone.
10 years ago, we were flying around in helicopters, flying all over the world because of energy drinks and sunglasses.
Yeah.
Ironically, all these sponsors, these companies have dumped them. I mean, Armada is the only one left from the originals.
It's never been about the money. Does he like the money? We all do. We all wish we were making, 6 figures at a high level. But that still isn't what drove Tanner. Tanner did it because he absolutely loves skiing. That's it. I mean, look, he's 35 years old and he's out there skiing urban at a higher level than most kids. I mean, just like his horizons are just broadening by the day.
Yes!
It is true, Tanner skiing of late has been incredible. Making a film with him would be a real shot in the arm for the career. But there was a bigger issue at play. His antics. They've turned a lot of people off over the years, me included. I tried many times to get him to clean it up for the camera, but he always had to go his own way.
The problem is that my brother was never going to conform from day one. So if you were my folks, or you were me, or you were a sponsor, whatever, if you wanted to fit him into a box, that was never going to work, ever. And you either learned that and you worked around it and you let him continue to develop and be the person that he was meant to be, or you were going to be naive about it and try and force the proverbial square peg through the round hole over time, and you were going to get frustrated at every turn.
Hit it the other way, because you're gonna hit me. I flinched. Fine, Tanner. No! Fuck ski boots, dude. Fucking found a cure for fucking AIDS, but these are fucking worse than AIDS still. Fuck!
I'm fucking ready. You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right.
Ow! Shit, are you alright?
I don't know.
Don't move, don't move.
I think I'm all right. I think I broke some teeth though.
I don't see any blood. No blood.
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
You're good.
I think I'm good.
There is a paradox. Tanner's wired different than almost anybody else on the face of this earth. And part of the reason why he became the athlete and the skier that he did was because of that wiring. On the other hand, you have a guy who is going to step on his own toes at times because he's going to say what he thinks, how he thinks, and act the way he acts. A lot of times that's what rubs people raw.
My whole life has been skiing. I can't even remember the days of like my first ski days because I was way too young. I just grabbed a hold of him. I said first day I was like in love with it. I was so damn hyped. So yeah, just my whole life's been skiing, dude. Like my whole life is just a ski memory. So I don't think I picked it. I think it picked me.
A film about Tanner and his return to competition? Like a moth to a flame, I could not resist.
I don't know anything about the Freeride World Tour, but skiing runs through his veins. There's not blood running through that kid's veins. It's skiing that runs through his veins. And he just thrives on competition.
5 countries, 5 mountains, with the grand finale in Verbier, Switzerland, on the infamous Bec de Ross. Even if he didn't win, it would be heroic. A comeback story for the ages.
You think they should be worried?
They should be very worried, because Tanner Hall's coming to get him.
Hello everybody, the Freeride World Tour is about to kick off here in Hakuba, Japan.
The place is looking amazing today. We've had fresh snowfall in the last few days. It's going to be a huge competition day today.
30 seconds. Dropping 30 seconds. That's number 7, dropping. Ride is right. Dropping is 3, 2, 1,
The genesis of the Freeride World Tour, it dates back to the early 1990s. At that time, competitive skiing took place only on developed runs in ski resorts. Freeride competitions changed that by introducing a format that for the first time tested an athlete's ability across the entire mountain.
Le Freeride World Tour, le format c'est que les riders ne vont pas sur la montagne avant leur descente. Le meilleur freerider, c'est celui qui va avoir une technique alpine sans faille et qui marie aussi une technique en freestyle. Et de prendre ces deux éléments et de les mettre sur une montagne naturelle et pas préparée, en les mariant, ils puissent délivrer la ligne absolue.
The evolution of the tour has been remarkable. Today, with 3,700 athletes competing in 185 events across 5 continents, freeride competitions have turned into a mainstream phenomenon.
Pour le Freeride World Tour, on produit 3 types de vidéos. Donc on a un live webcast, on a des vidéos destinées à la télévision et des vidéos destinées au web et aux réseaux sociaux. Et les chiffres montrent qu'on a touché 250 millions de personnes par le biais de ces médias et aussi l'ImageFit. Et de voir aussi que ces chiffres sont en constante progression. Donc je suis ravie de voir que le public s'intéresse au Freeride World Tour.
What attracted you to the tour? Why now?
Dude, the Freeride World Tour is like, if you're a skier, you kind of like, you know it. It's been around for a long time, and like, it's the clout tour, you know? You might not be all over ESPN and whatnot, but you got the clout. That's for damn sure.
It's on. First stop, Japan. Let's get it.
It always looked appealing to me, and I always liked the idea of just like one visual scope, and then you got one chance to ski it. You can't like go look at it, like you really have to be on it.
Check out the jumps on the way up. Just make sure everything's a go, which it's looking like it's gonna be. There's a top triangle, little bush point at the very top, and try to just lay something nice off that and then land, and depending on what this other little hip jump that I've got right below it, just lookers left of my top jump, I would land and then be right into this like super poppy jump that I could take really deep, so it'd be kind of like a double line. One run and done, just got a lace, and I'm feeling like I'm laced up today, so it's a good feeling.
太好 ，Space keep up 小凯，太好 ，Good luck。
Non, Tanner est une légende, mais finalement, c'est ça la beauté du Freeride World Tour, c'est qu'on va avoir des jeunes riders qui sortent des qualifications, des wildcards comme Tanner, qui sont justement des gens qui sont ultra connus et qui pourtant, sur le même terrain de jeu, ou en tout cas, peuvent prouver qu'ils sont les meilleurs. Et à la fois, c'est fabuleux de l'avoir sur le tour, mais ce qu'il faut vraiment comprendre aussi, c'est que nous, en tant que juges, on va pas lui donner plus de points parce qu'il s'appelle Tanner Hall, ni au contraire. On essaye d'être justement le plus juste possible. Et que ça soit pour Tanner ou pour un autre rider, s'il veut être le champion, il va falloir qu'il le gagne.
What about being in the starting gate again? That remind you of anything?
I don't know. Being in the start gate again was just nice, dude. I'm a competitor. It was just like nice. I felt nervous again and felt like, holy shit, like, all right, here we go. And being in the start gate with a bunch of kids like I'd never even heard of before that were just fucking fully ripping, it was just, I don't know, it was like
It's really cool, dude. That was like one of the better days of life I had in skiing. Well, yesterday, this fool right here brought out his photo. He shows you a photo. There's two tiny little kids that got my hands on both their helmets.
That's me right there, my little bro. And as you know, Ski Boss right there, back in his prime. Fuck, it still is his prime.
Now we're standing at the same start gate together.
I have no idea what to say, dude.
He has breakfast beside him.
Shit is crazy.
It's fucking funny as shit, man.
Traveling again with Tanner felt like passing through a time warp. Like we were picking up right where we left off. But, as always, there was tension. Earlier in the season, Tanner had crashed hard and injured his knee.
I landed really like flat in back seat on some ice. I didn't ski at all really until I went to Japan. I was in tears the night before the contest, being like, I'm not gonna be able to compete. Like I thought I was gonna have to pull out of the contest.
All right. Let's get it.
To stay at a high level and to stay at the top level at my age with the injuries that I've endured, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, my injuries are not normal.
Tanner Hall on course. Now it's time to show his skills on the Freeride World Tour.
What do we got?
Huge 360.
Nice, cork 3.
I can't even tell you. It sucked getting on the airplane, pretty much just like with zero confidence, didn't have confidence in my body, and when I don't have confidence in my body, like I can't even really think about skiing.
Lining up another hit straight away with the backflip. A little bit of a side slap there, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit of a delay.
The amount of pain I have to endure just to like wake up and get out of bed and get the ball rolling, it's pretty insane. I don't think a lot of people see it.
Lining up another feature down the bottom here. What do we got? And a 360 as well. Cork 3, backflip, 360.
Yeah, no surprise that we see a ton of tricks. He has them all in the bag.
Wicked run for Tanner Hall, 81 points. Second in the ski win. Such a pleasure to watch.
Despite the knee problems, in his first ever freeride competition, Tanner finished in second place. For the first time in 10 years, he was back on the podium.
It was a face nobody had competed on yet, and it was like definitely more friendly terrain. It was my style of terrain, and I know it's only gonna get harder from here. Like I know the Verbier, Beck de Ross, like that's not my style of skiing. All of those European skiers, like that's their style, and right now it's, yeah, going a little insane, but nothing I'm not used to, so I just hope everything works out.
Shortly, you kind of feel that one running down your leg.
Oh my God, it's insane.
Breathe, mate, breathe.
Many people think you should move on to something else. Does that bother you?
No. Because that's what they want. I just know that I'm starting to have feelings like I had back when I was 17 again. You know, I'm starting to feel like something's about to happen. And for me right now, it's like, yeah, I'm not getting any worse.
That feeling of 17. It was the late 1990s, a creative renaissance in the history of skiing. Every day up on the hill, something new would happen. A new trick, a new line. Ideas that were previously thought unimaginable. Into the mix stepped Tanner, a scrawny little mogul skier kid from Montana.
There was a mogul competition at Snowbird, and he blew it off, and he'd been doing so well. And afterwards, I asked him about it, and he just said, Dad, I'm gonna be a free ride skier. I wanna be in the air. I wanna be doing all the things that I like to do, not what these people force me to do.
He said, no, this isn't going to be just a phase. This is the up and coming thing, and I want to be a part of it. And he said, just give me a year, give me 1 year.
And then a Red Bull event came along, and he won that. Then the U.S. Open came along, and he won that. And then it was the biggie, the X Games, and he won that. And boy, from there it was just like a moonshot.
Over the next 4 seasons, every January, Tanner would arrive at the X Games and win gold. But then, after the competition ended, he'd take off to go filming, to make his mark in the offbeat world of ski movies. But he wasn't alone. Right alongside him was another young phenom of the same age, from California. His name was C.R. Johnson.
Yeah, I remember him very well, man. Well, we met at Powder Super Park in, I think, 1999. Yeah, it was 99. I wasn't even trying to be friends. It was like we got one lift ride, and then like that whole day we just skied together, and then it was just on. He was like the most like-minded person I'd ever been around. Did everything with him, skied, like, yeah, just everything, you know? So yeah, best friend.
CR and Tanner were two peas in a pod. They were the two amigos. They would eat, breathe, sleep, ski up. If they weren't out on the mountain, they were sitting in front of a computer critiquing everything they had done that day.
You know, CR was actually, for a long period of time in my brother's life, was probably more of a brother than I was. They really understood each other on a level that nobody else can understand because of where they came from and who they were at the time. Like, they were superstars.
To me, CR was like a little brother. When I started out making ski movies, he was still an unknown talent. I asked him to join the crew, and from there, we became good friends. In fact, it was CR, years later, who introduced me to Tanner. To find myself with a front row seat, watching the two of them revolutionize the sport, was my proudest moment.
Did you get lucky with timing?
I got touched by the hand of God in the timing when I came in. Young kid in a brand new sport that it was clicking in my brain at the time. There was only like maybe a couple other kids my age at that time too. Yeah, touched by the hand of God. But that was like my path, you know. That's what I feel like I was supposed to do.
After 5 years of uninterrupted success, the collapse came swiftly.
When he broke both ankles and both heels, I thought, it's over. This isn't how it should end. To have those kind of injuries, you know, where you can't get up and go to the bathroom yourself, you gotta be physically carried by somebody. Yeah. It's hard to bring those memories back. I don't want them coming to the surface. I'd rather keep them below.
We met with the doctors. He flat out said, it's serious. It's very serious. In fact, he probably will never ski again. And I thought, oh no. decide what's going to happen, because without skiing, I don't know that Tanner could live without skiing.
You know, there's this incessant need or desire to see these guys perform at a high level. Like, I can't do anything close to what my brother does, but I love to watch it because I want to do that. It's very aspirational, it's fantastical, but these guys are putting their lives at risk a lot. By and large, the stuff that we love to see on TV or in films is the stuff that can kill these people.
Following Tanner's accident, things went from bad to worse. It was the end of a long day. Everyone was tired. But the cameraman wanted one more shot. CR was up in front. He fell, and the skier directly behind collided with him, striking a severe blow to his head. With his brain hemorrhaging, CR was airlifted to the hospital and put on life support. If you look closely, you can see the collision. I remember that day well, because I was the cameraman.
What's up, Ski World? Welcome to the second stop of the Freeride World Tour here in Kicking Horse, Golden, BC. We've got a beautiful Bluebird day with fresh snow and a show just about to go down.
No, I'm gonna just go around and drop in the chute, just right behind that kind of ridge, spiny thing, and go through the chute and then off that big diving board.
Yeah, that's all you're scoping.
Yeah, hopefully there's a little popper to send 2 in 1 this time.
After the second place finish in Japan, I thought I had pulled the winning lottery ticket. Fighting against pain, Tanner was on track to make history, and I was the filmmaker there to cover it.
You really enjoy competing, don't you?
I love competing. I fucking love competing, dude. It just brings out the best in me, I feel like, you know. And I maybe, when I say best, I'm like the focus and stuff, and like pressure. I really like dealing with pressure. I love that feeling. I love being nervous. I love being scared. I love the whole, like, being in the abyss of the unknown.
Ce qui est incroyable de la part de Tanner, c'est qu'il vient se joindre sur un événement comme le Freeride World Tour et avec une prise de risque où on se dit mais il a déjà tout fait, tout réalisé. Et il va prendre le risque, non pas seulement d'aller se confronter à des riders qui sont pour certains beaucoup plus jeunes que lui, mais surtout au risque inhérent à la pratique de ce sport, qui est malgré tout très très élevé.
It seemed like a nice vibe up there. It wasn't extremely aggressive.
The vibe up in the start gate up at a freeride tour event, you don't even feel like it's a contest, you know? So many factors to go into just getting to that point, so by the time you're about to ride, it's like, really? It's my turn? Holy shit. Yeah, it's like a really family-oriented vibe up there too, because like, number one thing is safety, and nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, and like, that's really, like, the riders are a real strong community. Like, that's, like, it's a little family that travels around, and I really saw it.
Je pense que la force de Tanner, c'est sa technique, son approche de la compétition. Derrière son côté cool, on sent qu'il est très professionnel. Une de ses faiblesses, c'est son manque d'expérience, parce qu'il a filmé hors piste, mais il n'a jamais dû délivrer une ligne, une seule, qui doit être bonne, mais il apprend vite. Et je pense qu'on va voir une progression de Tanner au cours de la saison. Et j'espère qu'il n'y en aura pas qu'une de saison, parce que je pense qu'il pourrait marquer le Freeride World Tour de son empreinte.
Did you have a strategy for the tour?
No, I didn't really have a strategy at all for the Freeride Tour this year, like at all, because I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. My strategy, I thought, would be just look for the film line. Like every face I would come up to, I'd try to like scope the line that I would want to film, you know, and that made the most sense to me. And then just try to ski it the way I'd want to.
Yeah, boys!
Tanner Hall is going down to the spine, looking to find something creative here as he pops over the edge of the cornice, and he is in. This is the first time we've seen any athlete down in this section.
It's so steep and technical here, it's so gnarly. You do not want to be falling. You can be going huge. No way, Tanner Hall!
No way! Tanner Hall with a massive 360! That is what we expected out of Tanner Hall. Line score a little low. He pretty much only had one feature, but the feature he had was spectacular. Air style control and fluidity almost.
At the second stop in Canada, Tanner finished in 9th place. Why he didn't do better was a result of the judging system. In the air and style category, he earned maximum points, but in the line category, his score was low.
But what happened in Canada? It looked like you got a little bit lost up there.
No, I didn't get lost. I was going to do a double backflip off that big cliff, and I just got up to the takeoff and just something didn't feel right, so I opted out and did a 3. There was like a pre-wind lip that I would have had to take off on, and it would have sent me off in a funky direction, and it just, I don't know, like you have to micromanage your decisions like at a split second, you know?
Even if he had done the double back, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. Tanner was skiing the mountain like he would for himself, not for a panel of judges.
There ain't nobody holding your hand up on the freeride rope. Literally, like, you have to hike up the mountain yourself. You have to do everything yourself. Nobody's carrying your skis. Nobody's doing anything for you. Like, there's a lot of effort that goes into that shit. It's grown folks skiing, that's for sure.
We have a man at the top who can have a big say in what the podium looks like right now. Tanner Hall, early in the season, a lot of questions. Is this his world? Now, looking to light it up on the multi-loader. He's heading out to the sunny zone.
Taking that deep and full line, bringing some fluff down with him and charging out of that thing.
It's not easy going against all those kids on, like, with a one-run format. That's the thing, dude. It's harder to stay in it when you're older. It's harder to just have it click every day.
By the third stop, in Austria, Tanner adapted his approach to fare better with the judging. However, with a late starting position, the snow was tracked out and more difficult to ski.
My legs were getting super tired, like mid-run for some reason. I felt just burning in my quads like crazy. I was gonna do a double backflip off that too, and like how my legs were feeling, I was like, oh God, just land something and get it over with. Just didn't land it. It was really hard because I don't like crashing in contests, and was like the biggest lesson of humility like I've learned through skiing yet.
Not quite Tanner's day, unfortunately, going out to the Lippers right side, which I wonder if it's a little bit more affected now. As we were saying, it was a little bit firmer underneath the snow from the sun effect that
Maybe the success isn't in like winning right now, like right now. You know? Maybe that's it. You know, there's so many different styles of winning. And obviously there's the most obvious point of winning is by skiing really well and winning. But Just gotta find the small victories and like be stoked, dude, and move forward, you know? That's it. Dude, I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed, and it's like, I'm doing this for a while, man. It's crazy. All I know is this shit. It's all I know.
One month after his accident, CR emerged from the hospital. Having survived a traumatic brain injury, life would not be the same for him. But he was never bitter or angry about what had happened, just grateful to be in the present.
He definitely came back like a more mature, like humble, really good person. And I don't even think it took a head injury. He showed me that you can change 100% if you want to.
In time, he began skiing again and managed to return to a high level. But for his close friends, there was always a lingering sense of doubt. Because we knew his reflexes weren't the same as before.
I don't know, he started skiing maybe, now I can say looking back, maybe too soon, but dude, you can't, because a skier is a skier. And no matter what, like, he was gonna do that no matter what. Because he felt it. If you're feeling it, like, sorry to say, like, nobody's gonna tell you no. Everybody's the ruler of their own destiny and their own choices in this game.
Tanner, meanwhile, had recovered from his ankle injury and was ready to reclaim gold at the X Games.
Boy, there were a lot of questions, you know, can I not? The first time he put skis on, went down the hill, and there was no pain, which I think was the first time he skied after that. He said, I'm fine. I'm gonna go win. Just a great never give up attitude.
I heard like this was it for Tanner, he's done, this is that, blah, blah, blah. And like that type of shit, like, you gotta be careful when you say that stuff. And like, it comes back to me. Cause that's not good, like, for you, if you wanna see me done.
Here goes Tanner Hall, qualified first in the qualifying. He wants this so bad. He's an absolute perfectionist. There's the 1080 from Hall. Tanner Hall has overtaken the crown and the title of Winner X at the X Games 10.
Tanner would go on to win 2 more gold medals in the halfpipe, completing his second three-peat. At the same time, in the world of ski movies, he had become ubiquitous, dropping one spectacular film after another. On-piste and off, he was the undisputed king of the ski world.
You were back on top, winning competitions, the star of the X Games. Why continue to risk it all, doing ski movies?
Because that's what got me into the sport. X Games didn't get me into it. Like watching Greg Stump's films. Watching Flake and Schmidt, Mike Hatchrup, Kevin Andrews, everybody like that, just skiing. maybe tricks and the style of skiing was changing, but that doesn't mean we need to change our culture. You know, that's why I'm still doing it.
Ski movies for the dream.
Yeah.
Not X Games.
No, X Games just came because like it just like happened to be there.
The second act, like the first, would also end violently, filming a massive jump for yet another ski movie.
The second one, we all knew it was really, really, really serious. When they took the pictures and told him that he not only had 2 broken tibial plateaus, but he had no ACLs left. They were gone. I was worried that he was going to have lifelong debilitating injuries to where he wouldn't even be able to get around himself.
Repairing all the damage in both knees would require 5 surgeries over the span of 3 months. An addiction developed to the pain medication, and the nightmare grew darker.
To have your child strung out on painkillers, and you rock him like an infant, and he's a grown man. I didn't think we'd get Tanner back again. I thought we totally lost him to this terrible disease.
Once again, Tanner's misfortune was followed by an even crueler twist of fate. CR took a fall while skiing and hit his head. This time, the impact was fatal.
It's always nice to have a place to come basically WD-40 up the knees. You have no choice when you get older to do this stuff. If you want to stay relevant and keep coming up with new things and pushing, at the top level of what's going on in skiing, and you're in the 30 and over club, it's like, this stuff is mandatory. This room, though, man, I've spent a lot of time in this room. So much, actually. Bike is like meditation for me in this room, Go out for hours if I want. It's not like can't really stay on the bike for as long as I can in this room. And if he could just know what goes on here and how many people this place has helped out so far, he'd be, well, he would be, he is smiling down. He knows, he's here.
When CR passed away, how did that affect you?
I don't know. I mean, at that point when he passed away, dude, I don't know. Because it was like, it couldn't have come at a worse time. I don't even think I really internalized it when it happened. I didn't even want to face it, I don't think. I mean, it definitely put me darker into it, for sure. A lot of people were worried for me because they knew where my state of mind was, that if I were to hear that CR passed away, maybe I would have done something stupid to myself.
Eventually, Tanner recovered and got back on his skis. And to a casual observer, it might have looked like nothing had ever happened. But the substance abuse persisted.
You told me at one point that you were on the cusp of walking away, going back home, taking a job pounding nails. You really thought it was all over.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the pain and nothing was getting better, but I was fucked up, and I didn't want to stop drinking or doing drugs. because I just knew how much time, I knew if I had to stop doing that shit, I knew how long it would take to come back to ski how I wanted to, and I just didn't know if I wanted to do that. I was a coward, dude. I took a weak way out of things. But, I mean, it would, like, I'd need the pain pills at some point, but then I would have some drinks, and then it'd make me really kind of drunk and tired, and then I would do cocaine, and I'd be good. Alcohol, cocaine, and fucking pain pills, though, dude? Are you kidding me? It's a terrible cocktail. That's the deal. That's where I was. I was either gonna keep doing drugs and stop this life, or I was gonna stop doing drugs and continue this life. And have all this shit come to an end because of drugs and alcohol would have been pretty unacceptable.
The thing that we always talk about is, oh, like my brother, physically, he's an insane skier, right? We talk about him overcoming his injuries, but what we never talk about is the mental capacity to do so. Once he got out of the hole he was in from, mentally from those devastating injuries, he set a goal and he just started chipping away.
At the end of the day, I just cannot picture myself not skiing. I got too many ideas, too many things I want to do, too many tricks I want to land to like be done. For some reason, I wake up every day just with this on my mind, you know? Skiing is a different sport, you know? If you're a skier, you know what I mean. So, just not gonna waste any more time. I've wasted enough time.
So, the thread comes full circle, back to the Freeride World Tour. After crashing in Austria, Tanner was running in the middle of the pack. But at the fourth stop in Andorra, he crashed again, knocking himself out of contention. Then, as I prepared to travel to Verbier for the final competition on the Bec de Ros, the news broke. Tanner had dropped out.
The Bec de Ros, it ain't Japan, it ain't Canada, it ain't Fieberburn, it ain't Andorra. It's a whole different beast.
You didn't even have to win, though. You just had to finish. You should have at least gone and skied down the thing.
Yeah, and that would have been, and it would have been great, but at the end of the day, dude, I just wasn't confident in my skiing at that time. When you think about a mountain like that and you're not on, I've seen what can happen. Everything's good. I can enjoy my summer and try to get even stronger and come back next winter even healthier. And that's the name of the game, dude, is skiing, live to ski another day.
The whole point of this entire thing was Tanner does the tour. And, I mean, without Verbier, there's no ending to the movie.
I got a pile of friends that are dead. I'm not trying to die doing this. That's not the end goal, is to have some crazy ass line where I just ski off the cliff into the sunset and it's some epic story. Like, no. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy to be like this insane about something. To have, like, to go about it so psychotically. You could just be so into something that, like has killed your friends and fucking made people go broke. I mean, it's done, I think, a lot more negative than positive around in my world. But there's something about it. And sometimes I don't even know what it is. Because what I'm going out and doing every day brings feelings and emotions where most people, they don't know those emotions. They might know what being scared is like, but they do not know what being scared is like. Until you can taste your heart like in your throat, and you are at the point where you're just paralyzed. You can't move because you are literally on the edge of something that will kill you. And to love that, nobody like that. Not a lot of people know that feeling. You know, it's crazy as like time goes on too, because like the older you get, like it's crazy. Like people just start falling by like the wayside, you know, and it's crazy. And it sucks.
The reaction online to Tanner's announcement was jarring. People accused him of being spoiled, of being a coward. It made me think, what about my own judgment?
We have to stop looking at professional athletes as, you know, untouchable entities. Like they're not human. We paint them into a picture and we say, okay, this is who you are, and if you veer from this, we're gonna tear you down and we're gonna rip you apart. And that's bullshit. My brother's never gonna be universally loved. But if you just look at his will, his passion, his energy, his commitment to his craft, if you can apply that to what you do every day, your job, you are going to be 100 times better in what you do, and you're going to be better for the people around you.
It's unpleasant to admit the truth. But the truth is, I'm just another guy with a camera, looking to exploit Tanner. Trying to package him up into a fantasy, to sell to you, the audience. The fact that he's still here doing this, after everything he and his family have been through, that by itself should be enough.
You know what? It's been tough. I mean, it's been a good ride. It's been a great ride. It's fun to see your son go out and do what he loves to do and be good at it. And you're happy for him. The highs are high, lows are pretty darn low.
That's the price that this sport exacts from people. If you're in it, there's going to be pain. There's going to be injury, and for some, it's going to be worse than that.
As this film comes to a close, as I sit here working on an ending, I feel a sense of illumination, because now I see Tanner in an entirely new light. Indeed, his rawness makes him difficult, but it also